Okay, so check this out. I just got this pulled up right here. Pistons forward Christian Wood tests positive for the coronavirus. Wood is the third known NBA player to contract the virus.
Oh my god!
I just got that. That is insane. See, this is why I try to tell people that this is a serious thing, regardless of if it's gonna kill you or not. You still have to understand that there's people out there with compromised immune systems. There's old people out there that their immune system aren't as strong as someone that's under the age of 30 just because they're older. And then you have, babies, which obviously this hasn't killed anybody under the age of 9 that I know of yet.
Right. I don't think it's killed anyone under the age of 25, not that I know of.
It has. It's killed a few. Okay, so here's the thing. It has killed a few people. If you look at the statistics, it's very low. It's 0.2%. It's not even 1%.
I think it's 0.2%, anywhere from 15 to 25 or 29 or something.
It's something like that. It's
insane.
really, really low for people my age.
And then from 30 to 45, it's 0.4.
Actually, let's just pull it up.
Right.
You want to pull that up real quick?
I got this.
Okay. Yeah, no. So obviously, we've all probably run into people, especially on Facebook, that are talking about how this is just the flu. And I wanted to do this. I know I told you this before. I want to do this because this isn't the flu. This is a serious thing. And I want to get out to as many people as possible, my viewpoints on it, because I feel pretty strongly about it. This is not the flu. And let me explain why it's not the flu. Now, you say, well, the flu kills, I don't know the exact number of people the flu kills a year, but it's higher than the coronavirus. But there's a reason for that. The reason that the coronavirus hasn't killed as many people as the flu is because it just started a few months ago. And really, we don't know how many people it's killed because we're not testing dead people.
Okay, so there's 74,808 active cases right now. 68,899 are in mild condition, which is 92%. 5,909 are in serious or critical condition.
How many?
5,900.
5,900.
Which is 8%.
That's a lot.
There have been 81,630 cases which had an outcome. 75,799 were recovered or discharged, which is 93%. The other 7%, they died, which was 5,831 people.
Is that... You said there's how many deaths are there right now?
Right now?
Is that 7%? There's no way. Oh, of the
close.
Okay.
Active, it's
so
8%.
that's a weird thing that I actually haven't really seen that statistic yet. That's kind of crazy.
Right. And there's just a bunch more with us.
So...
Wait, never mind. Wait.
From the last time I checked, the total mortality rate for the coronavirus is about 3.4%.
So... in the U.S., there are 57 deaths.
57, yeah. That has been going up. And just because there's only 57 deaths doesn't mean that number's not going to continue to climb.
Right.
And if you look at a case like Italy, where they've completely shut down everything and they're basically in full quarantine, the reason that there's so many deaths in Italy is because there's a lot of old people in Italy. The average age in Italy is actually higher than in the rest of Europe. And that's why there's a lot of people dying.
Hold up. Pull that up, too.
Yeah, you can pull that up. So something I've run into a lot is I've been told this is the flu. People are dying less than the flu. Well, this is the reason we're basically we're going into quarantine. We're not going into quarantine yet, but we're being told to self-quarantine if we can, and to be careful, wash our hands. There's a reason for that.
Okay. In Italy, the average life expectancy is 82.54 years.
It's pretty high. And I think in America, it's probably around 75 or something like
78.
that. 78.
France is 82.
Yeah. So that's why people are dying in Italy. And I'm not saying this is to downplay this because of that. But the thing is that this isn't the flu. 3.4% mortality rate is nothing to scoff at. And say, what's the population of the Earth right now? Because I'm not saying everybody's going to get this, but there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get it if we don't act fast and we don't get a vaccine.
7.53 billion as of 2017.
So take 7.53 billion and multiply that by 3.4%, and you get a pretty high number. It's in the millions.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people.
I wouldn't be surprised if this whole coronavirus, the death rate did hit the millions. Cases, we're not far off from it with how fast it's spreading. Deaths, it'll take a little bit longer if we don't get a vaccine going or something.
We are just scratching the surface of this in America. It is not fair to say that a few thousand cases is all we have, and it's not fair to say that 57 deaths is all we have.
Well, that's what's documented.
That's what's documented. But there have been cases where they have tested people that have died that they thought died from influenza, and it turns out they did have coronavirus.
Or it was the flu.
Huh? Oh. Well, coronavirus isn't the flu.
I know, but I'm saying, or they died of the flu.
Influenza.
Yeah.
Doug.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. I'm sorry.
So there are cases of that. I don't know how many cases, and I don't know if that's a significant number of people, but in the next coming days, we're going to see more deaths. We're going to see more cases, and don't be shocked if it reaches the hundreds of thousands in America alone by the time Sunday hits, because we have got this new funding that allows us to get free tests, and there is a new bill that passed Congress. It's 110 pages long. I skimmed through most of it, and a lot of it has to do with dealing with it in schools, but some of it has to do with paid sick time, and that's huge. And as long as this bill passes, we're gonna be way better off if this bill passes. It's not the best bill in the world, but it's definitely a step forward. Another thing is that they're going to be paying you, they'll be paying you sick time, and I think they're expanding some Medicaid, they're expanding unemployment. So it's really nice, but what the biggest thing is that they're getting us free testing. And on Sunday, it looks like we're going to be getting more testing. So I'd say around Thursday, this is my guess, Thursday is when we're going to start seeing higher numbers of cases. Ohio had already said that they're expecting 100,000 cases currently, but they can't test for it.
And hopefully people will open their eyes and see this is actually serious once those numbers start going up. I hate to say it, but that's how you're going to get people to believe that this is real instead of a hoax, which it's not a hoax.
I think the biggest thing is that you look and see why people are saying this. I think a lot of people were mad because Trump said this was nothing, and a lot of his supporters believed that. They didn't do the research. They said this is just the flu. And I have said it before, and I'll say it again. The flu. Does anybody know what the mortality rate of the flu is? Do you know what it is?
It's pretty high, isn't it?
It's not that high.
Oh.
It is 0.1%. That is a lot of people every year.
Right.
But
that's like older people.
The mortality rate in the age groups of, say, 20 to 25 are 0.2. It's double that, just in that age group alone. And then the total mortality rate that we know of is 3.4%. That was the last I knew of. Mm-hmm. Now, this is changing every day, and as we get more cases, it could go down.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah. You can easily get that just by taking the number of deaths and dividing it by the total number of cases. So I've been following it a long time, and I've been researching it a lot. You know, I have people in my life that can be affected by it, and I cannot afford, even if I do get it, I can't afford to be around these people. So I take it really seriously, and some people don't take it seriously, and those are the types of people that are going to make this a full-blown pandemic rather than what we have right now, which is a pandemic, but it can get much worse. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to panic. You don't have to go out and buy toilet paper like people are buying it. You don't have to even go out and buy a month's worth of food. What we did is we went out and got maybe a week or two worth of food, and we got some canned foods, and we got cleaning products. We didn't even get toilet paper because it was all gone. We're set right now, but it's getting to the point where we're running out of basic stuff, and if we don't stop panicking, then there's going to be people without basic necessities to stay clean and sanitary for weeks, maybe
and
months.
Those same people who are buying in bulk like that, they're like the same people who are saying it's a hoax and who will go out in public anyway. I post on Facebook and it's true.
It is.
Because those people like don't want to believe it. They just want a reason to panic.
I can't even go on Facebook anymore. I try to stay up to date with it because I want to know, especially with my job and with a lot of people's jobs, that they have to worry about taking time off work if they get sick, which is a very real possibility.
Right.
I want to make sure that I know the law so I can say, you owe me this money because it is against the law if you don't. And like that's going to be very important in the next coming weeks for people that get sick, that they know the law.
Right.
And the law is out there. It's on CNN. It has the entire text, and it's word for word what's going through Congress, what's going to be going through the Senate, and what's going to be on Trump's desk if it passes the Senate. They're not hiding anything from you. Every one of these bills, you can read it, and it's not that long of a read.
And they're not distracting you from anything either, so you can take that and throw it away.
That's another thing that really annoys me. They say, what are we getting distracted from? Well, I'll tell you. We had a strike on, I believe, Iraq during this week. But it is in the news. You can look it up. Like, maybe they want to distract you from certain things. At other times, this doesn't make sense. America would not purposely destroy their economy. If you've been watching the stock market, this has been a historic week in the stock market. We actually just had the highest gain, and we also had one of the lowest drops in one day.
Well, didn't that gain come from that like $1.5 trillion donation or whatever?
You could say it came from that, but you could also say it came from Trump's speech, which a lot of it did.
Right.
It was a very well-timed speech by Trump, so he could keep people from panicking over the weekend. And I think that's exactly what he did. He knew that he could have said this earlier in the week. He could have declared a national emergency earlier in the week, but he knows the stock market is his biggest point going into the next election. So, of course, he declared a national emergency right before the closing bell. So the stock market would go up in the weekend, and it would close, and it would stay up. It was up 9.9%, I believe, the Dow Jones.
Oh, my God.
But if you look back, it is down much higher, much more than that. It is.
Oh, I believe it.
It dropped. I don't know the exact percentage, but the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 both dropped a considerable amount. People in the stock market lost money if they didn't sell out early. And this is a problem too. You know, you want to say this is the rich, but honestly, there's a lot of people I know that are not rich, like me, who have money in stocks as well. And, you know, this is important because it is, you might not like these big companies. You might not like the way they do things, the way they evade taxes, but the truth is that's the economy for most people. And we don't want that to fail. I mean, some people want a revolution. That is true. Some people would love to see it fail, but the fallout right now would be absolutely devastating in this country. The government would not be able to handle it right now, I don't think. And I don't know exactly how I feel about the way Trump's handled this whole coronavirus either. I think in the last few weeks, or the last week, he's done a decent job. I think at the very beginning, though, it was handled so poorly, and people had asked him if he took blame for it, and he said no.
I think Trump is shocked as everyone else is.
Of course he is. I mean, he should be.
Well, like his speech in the Oval Office, like he looked terrified.
Yeah, and I think he was. I mean, you can hate the guy all you want, but do you really think that the President of the United States, no matter who it is, wants this to happen to the country? Of fucking course not. There's an election coming up that he's worried about losing, and why would he want this at this time? Everyone's been throwing out these conspiracies. Oh, Trump did this. The United States military took this to Wuhan and exposed the Chinese people to it. It's like, you know what? I don't even care if that's the case or not. Right now, we have a crisis on our hands, and we got to fix it, and we got to work together. And if you want to make your conspiracies after everything's done, then that's fine.
Right now, wash your damn hands.
Wash your damn... Disinfect everything.
Oh, we've been disinfecting our apartment like crazy. Every morning when I get up, it's just spraying disinfect everywhere.
And don't go out in public if you feel like shit. If you are coughing, if you feel like you have a sore throat, a fever, anything like that. You know, if you have to go, be careful. Do not cough on people. Because we were just out today, and really I didn't even want to go, but there was stuff we needed to get. And there was a kid, and the kid was just coughing everywhere, not covering its mouth. And, you know, it pisses me off because, like, these parents bring their kids out. They know they're sick. They know there's a pandemic going on. What are you doing?
And I was, like, looking for one thing. I don't even remember what I was looking for. And this guy, like, he just kept getting closer to me. I would step away 2 steps, and he'd step 3 steps over. And I'm like, really? Get away from me.
I've been openly talking about how much it pisses me off when these people are doing that, because I don't care, you know. I'm not a confrontational person, but if you're going to be doing that kind of thing and you don't have the social awareness, that's a problem. There's a huge problem in America with, you know, people just being disgusting. They're not washing their hands, they don't shower, they cough, they don't cover their mouth. And there was an old guy too. This guy's like 70 years old. I was at Menards, and he coughs, and he doesn't do anything. He just keeps his hands at his side and just coughs. Like, come on, man. This is the kind of shit that's gonna start killing people. I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, it's gonna kill millions and millions of people, but that guy alone, if he had the virus, which how the hell does he know if he has it or not? I mean, you're gonna spread this shit across the community. And people are panic buying right now. Those are the hot spots that are going to get people sick. And that's the kind of shit that's going to get people sick and get people killed. Especially someone like him. He should be worried about this since he's like 70 years old. You are the fucking target audience for this virus and disease. What are you doing out in public? If you don't need to be out there. I see these people looking at a grill today. What the fuck are you doing? Get inside, man.
And like,
be considerate of other people.
Just
be considerate
casually
of your
asking
community.
questions too.
And
like, you know what would go good in pandemic? A grill.
Yeah, and it's just baffling to me. Why, out of all days, you say, you know what? We need to go look at a new grill.
Right.
You know, there's people out here. They're trying to bulk buy. They're scared. You know, they don't know if they're going to get quarantined. Our city has a few cases.
Yeah, like 3, 4 last I checked.
Which means, I don't know the exact number.
Well, not our city, the county. But I mean, they shut Michigan State down, so that makes me wonder.
They might have some in...
That's confirmed cases, though,
Did you ever figure out if it's in the city or if it's just in the county?
They said Ingham County.
So, but that is mostly just Lansing.
That is, yeah.
So...
Yeah, that goes...
So basically, there's a case... Or not just one, but
3 or 4 confirm us, I knew.
And from what I've been seeing, having one confirmed case, you know, there's a factor that you got to take into consideration that if there's one person, there's more. You didn't just have one person here. They most likely, if you do the math, there's most likely a really high chance that they've run into somebody and given it to them. Because you are contagious. I want to make sure everybody knows this. You are contagious the second you get it. You don't have to be showing symptoms. And you stay contagious until you test negative, which could be a week or 2 after you stop showing symptoms.
Maybe even months.
I'm not sure the exact... I mean, I'm not just going to throw numbers, but like I do know that you stay... And so far, from what we've seen, you can get this again.
And the incubation rate's 4 days, is it?
It can be up to 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, but like 4 is like the...
The average is 5 or 6, I think.
Oh, still though. So,
but
yeah,
that doesn't mean that you can't get it and then have symptoms the next day.
Right.
Probably
depends
really,
on your
probably
health.
really rare.
Probably depends on your health too.
It definitely depends on your health. That's another thing. If you have some kind of immune disorder, if you have allergies, if you're old, if you have asthma, be careful, because this... You know, people are not taking this seriously, but this is big, because especially for people like that, they can't even get the normal flu. They can't really afford to get a cold. I was talking to my coworker, and her daughter has asthma, and she told me, I'm not going to be at work because I can't afford to have my kid get this because she has really bad asthma. If she got it, it could be life or death.
Oh my God.
And I can't be around someone like that. I can't be around my grandparent. I can't be around anybody like that. My mom is a recovering cancer patient. I can't be around her. If I give her this, if I have it and I give it to her, that's bad. That's really bad.
Right.
And that's not just, there's more people in my family that I have to worry about. I'm worried about going to see my dad just in case he spreads it to somebody too.
That's if you would have it, though.
Because
where we're from,
if.
there's a good chance no one has it, but still.
That is a big if, but from the statistics, we're going to run into it eventually.
Well, they said
if we do the quarantine wrong.
Well, they said everyone's going to get this. It's just a matter of time. And it's just a matter of how bad it's going to be, how quickly you'll recover.
We don't know the exact...
There's a lot of factors involved in this.
We don't know the exact mortality rate is the problem.
We don't even know the exact number of cases because
I
could have it, you could have it, and we don't know.
We might not even show symptoms. And another thing is, if you aren't showing symptoms, but you feel somewhat sick, it's possible you have it, and you got to be careful.
Take care of yourself. Shower, practice good hygiene.
Don't spit on people when you talk. Don't cough. I mean,
take meds.
Don't
stay inside too. Do not go out in public.
Yeah, and
actually,
social distancing is a big thing too.
If you are gonna stay inside, I think you told me this, Trevor. Being outside would actually help get rid of it. So if you're inside, open up your windows. Open up your doors.
This is a really cool article. So, 1918, during the Spanish flu, I read an article today that said that a lot of people were treated outside because they found that the air was a natural disinfectant, which I don't know. But here's the thing. When you're inside, it's like you're in an incubator. All these germs and all these bacteria and viruses basically are just floating around until they either settle or they go into your system or, they're killed by maybe you have Lysol or something. Now, if you're outside, there is so much surface area. There's so much room out there that even if it's not killing it, the air in the wind is going to be blowing a lot of this away. It's, in my opinion, is if you can go outside and you're not around people, you're a hell of a lot better off than being inside.
Even open your windows and your doors.
Yeah, I think that's another thing. You don't have to leave your house.
Because that's what we did earlier. We opened up all the windows in the apartment and cranked the heat.
Yeah, well, we don't pay for heat, thank God, but
right. They'll probably be turned off soon anyway.
But especially if you live in a warm area, you live in California, you live in Florida, you live in Texas,
Mexico,
you live in the equator, you live in a volcano.
That'd be a good one.
Open your windows up. You can't go wrong with that. You're not. I mean, really, unless the only thing you got to worry about is allergies, really. But the odds of you catching this outside are probably very low. I don't want to say they're nothing, because obviously someone sneezes on you and they're in their vicinity. But if you're alone, you're probably not going to catch it.
But just don't
It'd be a completely dumb chance. But if you got that outside, and I'm so sorry if you did. But the odds are that's not.
Don't panic and just run outside either.
Yeah, don't panic at all. Don't ever panic. That leads to
There's too much panic and not enough disco.
Yeah, I saw Panic at the Costco.
Panic at the coronavirus.
Wait,
how much panic do we have to put in this? Is it panic?
I think I'm sorry everybody's ears. I don't know how loud that was, but it
wasn't loud on my end.
Someone's gonna be listening to this in the car and they're like, "What the fuck was that?"
They have earbuds in, just they hear that. I'm sorry.
So
you're welcome.
I think the biggest thing that's been pissing me off is the people that have been sharing all this false news, especially on Facebook. Facebook is oh my god, Facebook is a fucking garbage can.
Did you see the one from Daily Mail saying that they have a vaccine? The hell they do. Okay,
so here's the thing about vaccines. They might have a vaccine. Of course, it doesn't take that long to develop a vaccine, but the testing process takes a long time. 2 years minimum is essentially what they're saying, unless they start taking shortcuts, which they have already. they skipped animal testing, and I hear that they're going straight to human testing, human trials. Now, that is super fucking dangerous for the people involved, especially, not knowing what could happen if you give someone a vaccine and it just makes it worse. That is a total possibility. From what I hear, they're not using the coronavirus. They're actually attaching it to a different virus, and they're saying they're going to skip animal testing. They're going straight to human trials. And some people have said April, and I don't think that's possible. I really don't.
It's like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. People have said the end of April, and all I can think is I don't believe that. The number I hear is 2 years. A year and a half to 2 years is probably the minimum, because what people don't understand about vaccines is that you can't just roll them out, because if you did and you start giving people the virus, even a weakened version of the virus, and it doesn't actually give you immunity, you could start spreading it and it could be worse.
Right, it'll be stronger.
I don't know if it'd be stronger, but it would definitely spread to people if it didn't give you immunity. That's why it'd be stupid to just say, I have a vaccine, I haven't tested it yet, here you go, and then they go out there and it doesn't work.
I actually saw one article saying at some lab in London, they want people to come in, they'll pay them a certain amount of money, they'll inject them with the virus itself, and they're going to keep them there for, I think it was 14 days, to study the symptoms, to study the recovery period, to study everything about it.
This stuff is normally not legal. We are in a very odd time, especially with everything being canceled. Stuff that's getting canceled that's never been canceled before.
We're literally living through a rapture. Locusts, flooding in Egypt.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Erupting,
there is a literal plague of locusts in Africa right now. I shit you not. You can Google this. There is a literal flood in Egypt right now. You can Google it. It's been killing people. I mean, it's a little scary. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna play into the fear mongering, but it is why the hell is this all happening at once? It's very ironic to me. I saw the plague of locusts thing, and I could think that is not real.
100,000 ducks though.
They're going to deploy 100,000 ducks. I shit you not. That is what they're gonna do in Africa. They said that chickens can't eat enough, and they need to deploy 100,000 ducks. Where the fuck do you get 100,000 ducks?
Oh my god, I typed in 100,000 ducks on Google. The first headliner from Time Magazine: Army of 100,000 Chinese ducks ready to fight locust plague.
Yeah, see, it's a real thing.
Oh no, I know it's real.
I mean, I tell people, and they're like, what? Yeah, it's a real thing that they're doing. It's kind of funny. Oh, and someone was saying that there's a bunch of volcanoes erupting in Russia.
I'm gonna look
look that one up, because I didn't look it up. Usually I fact check just about everything, but I didn't look that up. Yeah, how crazy is it that they canceled March Madness though? That shocked me. I mean, that just shows you how serious this thing is, because, I mean, you don't just do that. Any luck with the volcanoes?
I typed in volcanoes in Russia erupting, and I got on June 22nd, the Russian volcano called Koke.
June 22nd, though?
If anyone Russian is hearing this, please correct me on that, because I don't know how to say it. The Russian volcano called Koke erupted, sending ash and volcanic gases from its 700-meter wide... I don't care about that. Yeah, June 22nd.
Okay, this brings me to my next point. Stop spreading misinformation. I can admit when I'm wrong. I even said, someone told me on Facebook. And this is what really pisses me off, is that you can't just say, somebody told me this, and go spout it as fact. You just can't do that. And that's what's been going on. I don't know if anyone's seen this post about an election. Every election year, there's a virus. Have you seen that post?
Yeah.
It's not real. It's almost 100% all false.
Right.
I actually
haven't fact checked that one. So
Facebook will fact check most things if you report it as false news, and I've been doing it because it's been pissing me off, because it is fucking dangerous to be doing that, for one, and two, I thought that seems a little far fetched. There's a lot of weird shit Do you think you'd find that actually?
It
said like this was posted at a doctor's office about the coronavirus.
Oh yeah.
And it said 2008 this virus, 2010 this virus. Almost all of those dates are wrong, by about a year. And also, if you have a brain, you'd know that there's an election every year. Every year there's elections, and it's just like. I guess they're saying major elections, but the truth is that a lot of those were misquoted. Those weren't the years that they happened. And also there was it didn't say mortality rate. It was contagion rate or something like that. It's a made up term that they literally use in a doctor's office. Like that makes me think that there's no way a doctor's office used it. A contagion rate, I think is what it said.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now, and I'm finding nothing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find it on Facebook. It's hard to find. I might actually have saved this because I was looking to look at it.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the big Google right now. Nothing.
I had a bunch of them saved because I was just posting about how stupid it is, and I'm not finding.
Well, the first thing when I go to like because I was looking at images for it, is the CDC. Know the facts about coronavirus disease 2019. Help stop spread the rumors of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going around.
Fact 1. Diseases can make anyone sick regardless of their race or ethnicity.
Unless you're a dog. Oh, here it is. This is actually not the same post, but it's similar. Election year: SARS 2004, bird flu 2008, swine flu 2010, MERS 2012, Ebola 2014, Zika 2016, Ebola 2018. I don't know exactly which one of these are wrong, but there is a Snopes article about it, and it has been proven wrong.
You said Ebola 2018?
Yeah.
Ebola was a while ago.
Yeah,
when it first came out.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's look up the Ebola outbreak. Yeah, it seemed like it was a while ago. And I can't find it because now I'm under a bunch of pressure. You know what? 2014 and 2016. Yep. See, that's not right. Like, yeah, of course there are cases in 2018, but that's not when it started. And the fact that they're getting those numbers wrong just goes to show how much misinformation there is out there. It's ridiculous. You can't buy into this shit, and you can't be spreading false information out there. I don't know how many people I see on social media say they're going to go outside no matter what. There are people pissed off that their concerts are canceled. There are people pissed off that sports are canceled. I don't give a shit. You know what? Maybe if you weren't so fucking selfish, you wouldn't be worried about this shit. It sucks. We all have to go through it. We are not children. We can understand when something is for the greater good, and this is for the greater good, and if you don't like that, then you are not benefiting society in any way, and I think we should throw you in a fucking volcano. Maybe a bit extreme.
Send you over with the ducks.
It does piss me off, though. People like that do really piss me off. And I block people because I'm just telling them facts. And this guy literally had the nerve to tell me, what research I said, I've been doing research on this. And he said, what experiments have you done? And I said, you know what? Get your fucking... Oh, okay, what's up, bud?
Get out of here.
Get out of here. I said, get the fuck out of here with your ignorant ass. I don't want to fucking deal with this. Like, it's the equivalent to the okay boomer thing. But the thing is that this is killing them more than any other age group, is people that are baby boomers and up. And they don't seem to care. And all I can think is, I'm trying to help you not get this virus. And if you don't want this help, then it's not fine. Like, there are people that don't want it. There are people that don't want it. And if you're going to spread it to them, you're going to be responsible for the deaths of a lot of people. You good there?
Yeah, no, like every time I hit it, it just like, there's like a bunch of bass that hits my ear.
It's because it's powered by a battery. And
that's weird.
It's artificial, I think.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's artificial bass. Not artificial, but I think it's just a vibration added on to a bass booster. It's really weird. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a piece of shit.
Expanding on what you just said, yeah, people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna recover from it. I'm gonna be fine. I won't get it."
You might.
There's a good chance that you probably will be fine. You probably will recover. Practice good hygiene, all that. But again, don't be selfish. Think about your parents, your grandparents, everyone in public.
Well, and the thing is, 1 of every 500 people that gets it under the age of 30 is going to die. Mm-hmm. That's doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean, say 1 million people get it, and you go, it's 200 people that die.
I was going to say 500.
I mean, like, it doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean those people, this is just statistics based. We don't know if it's going to kill somebody else just based on other factors. This is what we've seen so far. And that's a lot of people just in that age range. Now, when you get older, it gets up in the 10s and it gets higher than that. That's scary. That should scare you. That should scare your families. And I'm not saying panic, but I'm saying be courteous to others.
Be cautious.
Don't be a fucking dick. That's all I have to say.
Another thing too that like really pisses me off is the fact that people are they're like blaming it solely on China. Yeah, it did come from China, but people are being really racist towards Asians now, or people from China, as if they have it.
You do see that a little bit. I mean,
like Italy, they're on literal shutdown. You don't see people being racist to them.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest problem is just pure ignorance out there and people that don't understand what kind of threat this actually is to the economy. Because this is something, or not just the economy, but just all of America as a whole. This is another reason. This is the biggest reason why we are on, well, actually, New York, parts of New York are actually on quarantine. And this could be the reality for all of us if we don't fucking do something about it. And the communities don't step up and help each other and come together and stop fucking fighting. There's a reason. We have a limited number of resources. We have a limited number of hospital beds. And we can take care of every single person in America getting sick, but not all at one time. Not even over the course of a few years. If all 300 plus million Americans got sick today, it would be insurmountable deaths, and you're going to start seeing that number go from 3.4% to way higher. Look at Italy's death rate. I think Italy's is at 7%. I'm not sure, but I know it's higher than the rest of us.
Well, yeah, because they're also really crammed.
Yeah, but
that's like a huge factor.
Look at Norway. I don't know if they even have one death yet.
No.
Denmark, I think, is another one.
Africa, I don't think.
A lot of these socialized medical countries are actually doing really well. There's not a lot of deaths because people can actually get in.
I think with Africa, too, I mean, we talked about this earlier, how you said that they're such an undeveloped country. But, like, all their cases, they've come out.
The whole country of Africa.
Right. No, but all their cases came out, like, positive, but then the people who got it, they recovered.
Well, it's early.
Right.
It's just now spreading to Africa. It's just now spreading to the United States. I mean, we don't know what it is. That's the problem, is that we don't know. But like I said earlier, so say we have 200,000 hospital beds throughout the entire of the U.S. I don't know if that's the exact number. But once we hit that 200,000 threshold and we have all these people in hospital beds, hospitals will no longer be able to take people in. Oh, yeah, I want to get to that. Hospitals will no longer be able to take people in. And we're going to have a really big problem on our hands because these people will be turned away. We will have to decide who dies and who lives because that's exactly what's going on in Italy right now. And if that happens in America, that is a problem. People are going to fucking panic. You think it's bad now, people are going to fucking panic. They're probably going to fucking riot. Now, we can take care of this by getting in charge of this right now and making sure people don't have to go to the emergency room so we can get people that are at risk in those beds before we get people that aren't at risk in those beds. So that's the problem. Is that's why we're trying to self-quarantine. That's why we're shutting everything down, because if everybody gets sick at once, there's going to be a really high death rate. Now, Doug just showed me Dr. Drew. You showed me a Dr. Drew article.
Oh, yeah.
Where
I'll bring that back up.
Yeah, he said something. I actually did read this.
Said Dr. Drew blasts fake media coverage on coronavirus or something along those lines.
And there has been fake media coverage. I'm not going to deny that there hasn't been fake media coverage, but you can't tell me that a medical expert doesn't know more than Dr. Drew, who is not the kind of doctor you think he is. The real troubling effects of fake news. President Trump.
They're comparing Trump to Obama with
H1N1. Yeah, H1N1. 60 million cases, 12,000 deaths. Panic level. Totally chill. Do you see how the media can manipulate your life? Okay, so here's the fucking problem.
Okay, 12,000 deaths.
That mortality rate is really, really low. And I understand that 60 million people got it, but it's, at that point, is not even that big of an issue.
Okay, I think I was watching...
That's actually a really low mortality rate.
I think it was yesterday or today. They said H1N1, it was harder to get. Yeah. So that's why it wasn't as big of a deal. That is why it was. Coronavirus, you can literally just touch someone and boom, game over.
It's very, very, very...
easy to get.
Yeah, wow, I'm just blanking on that, but it's very easy to get.
You're doing good, champ.
I'm doing my best. Yeah, it's not hard to get this thing. That's why it's a problem.
How long have we been going for?
40 minutes.
Damn.
It's not hard to get this thing. And it is very contagious, and it's not very deadly, but it's mildly deadly. It's more deadly than that. 60 million cases and 12,000 deaths. If you do that, that's less than the flu by quite a bit. Actually, let's do the math on it. 12,000 divided by 60 million. 0.0002.
For what? I was not paying attention there.
That's the death rate. What was that? Was that H1N1?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very high. That is actually extremely low. And a lot of people that got it were probably already really, really high at risk. And I'm not talking like just above the age of 50. I'm sure like a lot of those people must have been really high at risk because that's really low. This isn't the flu, guys. It's not at all. The mortality rate is higher, and once you see more people getting it, and people would have gotten it if we wouldn't have shut the NBA down, if we wouldn't have shut down all these places, more people would have gotten it. And a lot of people probably have it. Now, the mortality rate might actually be lower than we think it is, and it probably is. A lot of people think it's around 2, but that's still pretty fucking high. And that's still possible, or it's still a possibility that it could kill millions of people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's just the truth. I'm not trying to fearmonger, but they could kill millions of people if it infects everyone.
Well, like you said, too, we're in the early stages of it yet.
Yeah, and H1N1 got to 60 million people. You know what happened if this got to 60 million people? Let's do the math on it. 2 million deaths. Do you imagine if 2 million people died from this?
That'd be insane.
That is the Spanish flu all over again. This is what we don't want. And no one wants to say it because it's scary. But the truth is that if this did get around to everybody, you could see 10 million deaths worldwide. Easily. That's a lot.
And that brings me to population control. People are saying that the government made this, like China made this to control the population.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say whether or not that's
right.
The case or not.
I'm not throwing it out of the question, but I don't think they would tank the economy like that to control population.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even going to speculate on something like that.
Right. No, it's just something I had read.
I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and I'm the type to not buy into them, but to at least give them the light of day, because it's been shown that there's a lot of conspiracy theories in America that come out to be true. Edward Snowden, and he's shown us about the NSA, the stuff that we never thought was actually going to happen, but it did.
Alex Jones with the Freemasonry stuff.
Alex Jones broke into the Freemasons' little what the fuck
ritual.
What the fuck they do there? I don't even know, but
I think we want to know.
It's stuff that we didn't think they actually did, but they do it. They do a lot of weird shit, and if you want to look into that, then Alex Jones has a whole video about it. I'm sure it's probably still on YouTube. But as far as conspiracy theories go, I don't know. But I do know is that we have a pandemic on our hands, and we as communities need to come together. Community gardens would be awesome. I just saw some guy on Facebook today. He lives south of us about 10, 15 miles. He sold 400 pounds of beef to people for $2 a pound.
Oh my God.
You know how important that is for people? Some people that can't find food at the grocery store, that don't want to go to the grocery store because they're worried about getting sick.
Right.
That's huge. If people like that, if there were more people like that, that'd be huge. And Trump got tested for the coronavirus, so we will see the results from that pretty soon. I'm excited to see that.
Right. So if he has it, then people need to start freaking out.
Oh,
people would be like, oh, thank God he's going to die. Like, don't have that mentality. Because what if that was you? Or, like, someone that you love, someone that was close to you. He's not he's not the best person out there.
He's not a great person. But
no, he's not. But still,
it's a person.
Saying that, like, because Trump probably has some of the best health care in the world.
I think he's got it. I wouldn't be shocked if he does have it.
Well, they said he shook hands with Brazilian.
Yeah, he's been in contact with people that have it, and if he does have it, it would not shock me. And now they're not letting reporters with fevers coming into contact with him at all.
I won. They
turned someone away today because they had a 99.9 degree temperature. So that is the thing that's happening. Just look for that in the coming days. And I don't know. I don't really have too much more to say. Douglas?
Hold up. I'm Googling.
I
Googled. Oh, I was looking up Trump tests negative for coronavirus.
Did that actually happen?
ABC News.
Wow.
Coronavirus live updates. Trump tests negative. Travel ban extended. Virus has cost economy 17 billion smackers.
Yeah, they.
Oh yeah, New York Post, other websites, New York Times.
So that just happened then. How long ago was that? Because I just checked like today.
ABC sent out hour ago.
Okay. Oh,
Washington Post.
That's kind of almost unfortunate news.
Washington Post is live. Yeah, no, I post on Facebook. Here, I'm gonna read that. I post on Facebook saying the more notable people, the more famous people who get this, it would probably be better because they would work harder and faster to find a vaccine. Yeah, it sucks they can't treat the American population like that, like just the average guy, but it's what it is, I guess.
I think if Trump did have it, it would have been huge for, this. I don't know. This country might have freaked out a little bit if he had it. But at the same time, if he did have it, he's going to want to find a cure, obviously. That gives him incentive. I'm glad he doesn't have it. But, you see people like Tom Hanks get it. That makes it real to some of these people that don't believe it. And there's a lot of people that think this isn't real. I mean, we got to be completely honest. There's a lot of people in this time right now that are very ignorant, that are not highly educated, and they're not looking at facts. They're calling this, this is 5G. Oh, this is just some bullshit. This is just the flu. Like, you know what? The 5G thing is so ridiculous. I cannot believe some people actually believe that this is just from 5G. It pisses me off.
You know what worries me, though? Coronavirus turning the frogs gay.
I am a little bit worried about the frogs turning gay.
Right.
And the frogs should also be worried.
All right. I'm good. I don't think everything else to cover on.
Yep.
But just remember, 100,000 ducks.
100,000 ducks.
100,000.
I just wanted to tell you guys my point of view. And obviously, I haven't done a podcast in a long time because of how busy I've been. But this seemed too big for me not to want to say something about it and, put some real facts out there.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I'm not an expert, But we obviously have been looking things up this whole time. And if I said anything wrong, you can feel free to tell us that we got something wrong because...
Or you can just tell us to
I'm
fuck
fine
off entirely.
I'm fine being wrong. Or tell us fuck off entirely and tell us that this is a conspiracy and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
And if you get it, then we're not going to say we told you so, but we're going to say we told you so.
I will tell you I told you so.
Well, Trevor will.
I will 100% tell you.
I'll just not cough in your direction, I guess.
100,000 ducks.